my dad, he was a single dad raising me, which just is a whole other factor, right? And imagine doing that. Imagine doing that when you didn't have this technology of cell phones, of locations, and we had none of that.
Yeah.
And just going out and riding four wheelers, living on a farm, running tractors, cutting hay, doing all these things, but doing it, figuring life out on my own a little bit, having my left and right lateral limits of to be able to get through these challenges and to be able to face these obstacles and have to think on my own and not have someone over my shoulder protecting me every single, every inch of the way. And that's, yeah, I mean, so I was always into something, always
But that's amazing. I mean, we just interviewed Jonathan Haidt on the program. Haidt, it's spelled Haight, but it's pronounced Height. And he wrote The Coddling of the American Mind, and he was talking about how we have to stop with the helicopter parenting. We have to start raising independent thinkers and kids who understand the value in taking risks and just know in their hearts that they can do something new because they've done it time and time again without a parent leaning over their shoulder watching them. We're not doing that anymore. And Big Mike did not need that lesson in parenting. He was living it.
Yeah, I mean, and I just don't think that my dad could have done it, right? I mean, he didn't have the capabilities to do it. My dad worked, 60 hours a week at his full-time job, and then he came home and he worked another 40 to 60 on the farm. And my dad, that's what he did. I mean, that was a way of life. And so there was no time to, it was a team effort around the house, right? Like you had to pull your weight because there was so many things that needed to get done. And that was just kind of how we lived. And so with that comes responsibility and it comes growing up. And I'm thankful that my dad lived like that way. I'm thankful that my dad, instilled those values in me, because that's the difference between me and the generation that had someone helicopter piloting or, helicopter parenting over them. It taught me these critical skills to be able to think past what someone tells me to do or to just, follow the leader.
But it's also, you're not just different from the generation that followed you. You're just different from everyone because the vast majority of people, even a lot of Marines, would not have done exactly what you did and have taken so many risks repeatedly that endangered your life. I mean, no disparagement to the Marines whatsoever. I'm just saying, there's a reason you were only, I think, the second Marine to receive the Medal of Honor since 1974. I mean, it's not that extraordinary acts of bravery hadn't preceded you. It's just that yours were really extraordinary. And so part of what's interesting to me is how does one raise a Dakota Meyer? How does one build a Dakota Meyer? What happened in your childhood? Was it, we could get totally psychological. Was it your feeling of abandonment by your biological dad or your mom? Or was there some benefit to being sort of shuffled around under her wing when she was going sort of from place to place? Was it all Big Mike? Was it life on the farm? Do you have any insight into what made you the way you are?
Well, I think one aspect of it is I don't know, obviously, my dad kept me safe, right? By no means was I ever in any harm, but I never had anybody take up for me. So I had to figure it out on my own, right? I mean, I can remember these two guys in elementary school that just tortured me. I mean, literally growing up, especially in middle school. I mean, I thought Goodwill was a brand, right? I mean, I didn't know. I mean, literally, I grew up in a trailer park, right? So I mean, that's kids like that get made fun of, and you got a choice to make, and it just that pain of not understanding why someone is making fun of you, especially at that age, right? Of why someone is looking down on you or why someone is making you feel this way. And then I think that what happens is I go to my dad's and I watch my dad stand up for what's right. My dad was always about standing up for what's right. right? Like you don't compromise on right. There is a right and there is a wrong with everything. You don't compromise right for wrong at any stance, and it doesn't matter what the cost is.
This episode of The Megyn Kelly Show is sponsored by the Claremont Review of Books, a quarterly journal of original essays and book reviews illuminating the core issues of our time. The new spring issue just published, and it is well worth the read, which you can do at ClaremontReviewOfBooks.com/MK. The cover essay is a fascinating survey of Russia's advance into Ukraine, how it came to pass, and what it may soon lead to. It's called A Tragedy of Errors by military expert and celebrated novelist Mark Halperin. He's brilliant, and you can access the essay for free at ClaremontReviewOfBooks.com/MK, along with a sampling of other articles from the new issue, including a fantastic review about the 1619 Project and the pervasive threat of critical race theory in schools, a favorite topic of ours here on this show. A terrific essay on what Trump revealed about the American right. And you can access a sampling of unlocked essays from the just released spring 2022 issue of the Claremont Review of Books today. New subscribers will receive a bonus issue with a 1-year subscription. 5 issues for the price of 4 at just $19.95. Go to ClaremontReviewOfBooks.com/MK. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.